you're around, they hate you. Excuse me. But when you're dead, they love you. And when you're gone, they love you, right? Typical, typical broken heart love story, right? A typical love story gone wrong. Like a typical relationship that goes on every single day. The relationship we share with the people we love or the people we know. The relationship we share with each other, right? I now understand a deeper form of unconditional love. It's hard for me to accept it, to because I'm still logically speaking like I don't get me wrong. I give a lot of love, I show a lot of love, but you don't get the same amount of love. It's one-sided. In this dimension, it's like if you're in love, one person can love you more than you can love more than they love you or ever love you, right? It will always be one-sided, and it will always be a conflict. Like I've never thought that would be a dimension where mostly every relationship is like this. And now I understand why my friend stayed at his job for so long. The grass really ain't greener on the other side. It's literally somewhat or mostly the same shit, or worse circumstance. So it's the same shit, right? It's actually shit because everything has been polluted, right? Everything has been covered or has descended into darkness. So if everything has been covered or descended into darkness, you will find yourself in a rock in a hard place. Life is the biggest Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme to ever been created. Literally. Right? So when you when you realize that and you see that, you see like life has been the biggest Ponzi scheme. Life is a scam. It really is a scam. You go through all this shit. Like, if you, why do you come? Why do you come down? Why come? Right? If you know that they're not gonna love you, right? Okay, it's not about, when I was younger, I wanted justice, right? I was so heavily into justice. But it's not about right and wrong. It's not about who did what, or who was, or that person got away. Even though it's not fair, right? Okay, let's look at it from this standpoint. You know that they don't love you. It's not about, but you come anyway. Because if you didn't come, nothing would change, right? You know they're not gonna love you. You know they're not gonna help you. You know they don't give a shit about you. But you come for the overall. So it's not about what they do to you, or how you are treated, or them loving you, or getting love. Because you have a job to do. It's not about being right. Yes, you're right, they treat you wrong. Yes, you're right, they did this, they did this, they did this. And what? So what? What's the point? Now you say, well, you're being tough, Jose. You're throwing away emotions. No, I'm looking at it from a higher perspective. Right? I'm looking at it from logic or a little bit of sentiment. So what? You have a job to do, right? You can't do a job. You must go beyond all that. Because if you don't see the overall picture, the people who really need it, who needs the help, who needs the love, won't get it. So it's not just about you. It's not just about you. Sometimes you gotta put your feelings or emotion aside, right? And do what's best for the overall. And sometimes you need your emotions, right? And sometimes you need your logic, or sometimes you need both. And that's why you must remain neutral. You must be impartial, because there are no sides. Sometimes there are grays, okay? There are grays. There's different levels of truth, right? There's different levels of light, of love, higher levels of love. And you must strive for that. And sometimes that's enough. That's really just enough. As I look at my life, look at how things have played out and where I'm at today, I'm telling you, if I knew the situation with the women, all these women I've come across, the women in my life, my family, I would have never came. I would have, even if I had to come, I would have took a more peaceful path. Did my job and dipped. I'm gone. Because the suffering ain't worth it. Look at me, I'm in an apartment by myself, an empty apartment, where I could have a girlfriend or people that I love. I could have kids, right? Like things like that. I was sabotaged left and right, left and right. Stripped. You know, I remember my guardian was talking about, look at everything I've done for him. This is what he do to me. Your excuse for kicking me out was of COVID. COVID is still going on, right? The world is still in chaos, right? Right? You guys talk about how family is so important. But what if I didn't have that friend? What if I didn't have my friend? Do you know how long I would have been homeless on the street? Maybe eating out of trash cans and drinking water from the lake. It hit me today, like, damn. These people really didn't give a shit about me. Didn't give a shit. And so when you leave, then they have a like deeper respect. This is why when Keith left, right? Or whatever this issue, why did you come back, bro? To show them that yeah, I don't give a shit, bro. I don't have to show them shit. Like, you reach a point, you're happy that you're free from them. You don't have to prove a goddamn thing. Your absence is enough. Because when you come back, they're gonna say to themselves, deep down, like, I got them, or they can't leave, or something. They're gonna feel like they have the upper hand, right? And they're not gonna really change. Is when you put a stamp on it, stand your ground, and see things for what it is. You leave and you never look back. You never look back because you know where that path led you. You know where that road led you. Like, I was talking to a woman, she's 40 years old. She looked like she's 24. She's Asian Korean. And she said, I don't really text people. I don't really do this and that. I'm like, no wonder why you're 40 and you're single. You have no kids. No wonder why. Now wait, so you went through life not giving a shit. And now you reach a point. So now you're starting to gain wisdom when it's too late. And then you find someone who's very wise, very bright, and you come playing the same games, playing the same shit. and you expect that person gonna play the same game with you, same shit. I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time. I'm old. I'm very old. Play your games by yourself. Goodbye. I'm taking a more peaceful path. This is what I fought so hard for all these years. This is what I fought so hard and was resisting to let go. Resisting people. I was fighting for people who didn't love me. I was fighting for people who didn't care about me. I was fighting for things, places, and objects that can be replaced. It's like logic, a higher form of logic. Like I said, it's like a mixture of logic and love, but logic, right? You're gonna need it sometimes. The only thing that crosses barriers, or sometimes that combines the two, is love. When there's a deep sense of love, that's what makes you stay, right? That transcends the logic. Why do you keep coming back over and over and over? Even though you know it's pain. Because of the love of wanting to help. You keep coming back because you know the importance of helping. But I don't mean to keep coming back to a relationship that's abusive. No. I don't advise that. Man, if I had to do it all over again, I would have saved my money. Women would have been in the back of my mind. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't have fun with them, but they would have been back of my mind. Spirituality would have been came first, not religion. Spirituality, two different things. Spirituality, not religion. I'm not a religious man, and I don't plan to be anytime soon. And I would have left it all behind because I've done this before. I've lived this life before. And all it led to is heartbreak and pain. And now I'm trying to release myself from all this. I'm trying to release myself from this physical body. And I'm struggling to do that too. I'm trying to eject out of my body because I'm tired. When there's nothing that's keeping you here, right? When you realize your mother failed you, your father failed you, your family failed you, the women failed you, school failed you, everything failed because it was all a lie. You go through your life living lies. How do you expect to not have mental, emotional, psychological issues? How do you expect to not have depression? How do you expect to not have problems? How do you expect? It's not logical. Right? The grass ain't green on the other side because you have a bunch of these jobs that do the same thing. They copy the same blueprint. You have a bunch of copycats, people that copy each other. Same blueprint. They don't stand out. They don't do what's right. The grass ain't greener on the other side. It's somewhat the same or worse. So you're in a rock and a hard place, and you have to do the best that you can based on the best circumstances. You might not like it, but you might have to deal with it because you have a goal or mission to accomplish. This is why I say this is mission impossible. Because many will see things need to change, but only few will step up to the plate. Only few will step up to the plate and do what's necessary, do what needs to be done. And that's what separates you from the rest. That's what makes you a leader. That's what they call you, chosen. I don't really like to use that word. I like different source player, right? Or a person of high importance. A person of love that sees things for what it is.